Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. While rainy season brings relief from the extreme heat, sunburns, and sweat of the dry season, the humid and damp weather brings different kinds of infections. We know it's a refreshing time that makes everyone feel beauty tips can be forgotten for some time, which is why we have invited the dermatologist, Dr. Vivian Oputa, to educate us on the best skincare routine everyone needs to have in Nigeria this season. Good morning, Doc, and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Welcome to the show. Good morning.
It's good to have you back. It's been a while since we last had you.
Yeah, taking the boots in.
I know. Now we're right around the corner.
Yeah.
So I wanted to start out because I was telling her on the break that a lot of times when when it's really hot and humid out, I think that we take extra care of our skin because you can literally see. I mean, you're cleaning off the sweat and everything, and also to the grime. Like you could feel it coming at you.
Yes.
Because also it's dusty, and so you always feel like there's a layer, and you sort of go the extra way of cleaning. But I think when it's raining out, there's sort of this refreshing. You feel refreshed all the time, and so people don't do as much attention. So is it okay? I mean, is the weather help or?
Fine. It's moist, so it's more humid, so that helps to keep your skin moist as well. But you still have to maintain your skincare regimen and take care of your skin properly. In damp weather, we also have the overgrowth of fungus in particular. Ooh. So it's very common to develop fungal infections in moist conditions.
Okay.
Yeah,
so tell us a little bit about what type of routine you recommend.
Well, we have basic skin routines, which will give you the best skin if you're consistent with them, just very basic. Now, the first step will be cleansing your skin, and not just washing once, because people are very careless about cleansing skin. If you leave your makeup on, your skin ages by 7 days each night you sleep with makeup. That's number one. Ooh. And then removing makeup has to be done properly as well. So after you cleanse the first time, you might need to use a micellar water, and then you should cleanse again with your soap or facial wash or cleansing milk.
Okay, which one do you use first? Because I always feel like, the micellar water?
The micellar water helps to emulsify the makeup, so it's easy to take off. Because, makeup adheres to the skin, so you have to use something to dissolve it, so to speak. And after that, you should wash with the soap of your choice.
Okay. Soap, because we're told that soap is bad for the skin?
It's not all bad. It depends on the kind of soap.
Okay.
Because it could be liquid. You could melt a bar of soap down and it's liquid soap, right? So it's about the kind of soap you're using. You choose to name it whatever you wish.
Okay.
But the fact is, as long as it is able to remove residue and surface oils and dead skin, that's one thing.
Do we use sunscreen during the rainy season, or can we pause that?
You have to use sunscreen all the time, even in overcast, rainy weather. The UV rays are invisible, and they go through the clouds, so they will get to you, even if you're indoors, and there's sunlight coming in. Once there is daylight coming in, the UV rays are attacking your skin, so you must use a sunscreen.
Really?
Yes, you do.
What about the use of toner? That's another thing that some people feel is just a waste of money. Is there actually a point to toner?
There is a point. A lot of people think it's a trade gimmick, and it's just a waste of money, and it's just an extra step to give them more stress towards taking care of their skin. But it's actually one of the most important steps in skincare. Oh. What a toner does, your skin is naturally acidic, and your cleansers are alkaline. So when you wash or cleanse, you temporarily use your protective acid mantle on your skin that helps to prevent bacterial and fungal invasion. So when you wash that off, you need to reestablish it as soon as possible to prevent infection from setting in. And that's the use of a toner. But toners also have other properties. They exfoliate, as some of them have exfoliating ingredients. And then the use of the cotton round rubbing on your skin is also a form of exfoliation and stimulates circulation as well. So the toners are an absolute must. Never avoid them. Don't think they're trade gimmicks. They are very essential.
So, we always hear the saying sort of black don't crack. Yeah. How true is that? And does that mean that we don't have to do anything since black don't crack?
Black don't crack is the truth, right? Because we have more melanin than other races. Melanin protects you from sun damage. And what happens when you go out in the sun, it's stimulated, if you notice. You get darker.
Yes.
And that's a protective mechanism to help to deflect the UV rays. So we have that protective mechanism. And the sun exposure is one of the leading causes of aging.
Okay.
So with that, of course, it helps. But then you also have to take care of your skin. And then the downside is that, as we know, WHO has said more than 77% of women in Nigeria use bleaching creams. Yeah. So that way you are eliminating that protective barrier and also exposing yourself to the harmful rays and damaging the integrity of your skin structure.
So I wanted to talk to you actually, because the skin is the largest organ.
It is.
So to move away briefly from facial skin to the whole body, how do we properly take care of our skin on our body? Because everybody focuses on the face.
And that's the truth. I have that problem in clinic as well. Oh, I don't need body products. My face is all I'm concerned about. I don't care about my body. Nobody's seeing what's going on underneath. Your skin needs to be taken care of from head to toe. And I'm going to start with the toe. Because what I see a lot of women all gorgeously dressed, wearing sandals and slippers, and then their heels are all cracked and full of crust and filthy, thinking that people won't notice. Once you wear shoes, people can see underneath, even if they're standing here. And I see that a lot. So you have to take care of your feet as well. And, of course, your body. There's a routine that is basic for body care. I recommend, of course, you have to bathe twice a day. Twice a day.
She was like, that's the most basic one.
That's the most basic, because you hear people saying, oh, I even have patients that say they don't even wash their faces with soap. They just use water and then they go to sleep. And if you see the condition of the skin, you can tell that basic care is not being adhered to at all. So with the body, you use your, the soap of your choice.
Yes.
I recommend a moisturizing soap.
Okay.
And also maybe if you like the fragrant body, shower gels.
Yes,
you can add that as well.
Yeah.
It's okay to use a sponge.
Okay.
I recommend the net sponge. You know that one that's
okay, the ones we use.
Yes, the reason why is because it dries between baths. If you use the poofy ones, they don't dry, or the gloves. So you have fungus and bacteria proliferating, and you see a lot of skin diseases associated with that. So the damp and the moisture is just a good focus for the infection.
It's a perfect ecosystem for it.
Definitely.
So you think you're getting yourself clean, and actually you're using something completely
filthy. You're putting fungus, you're putting bacteria, the mold.
So that net dries
because
very
you can
quickly.
Now hang it up and make sure it dries. So that's. And after you bathe, you can use a body scrub. I would recommend twice a week. But if you can't,
a full body scrub.
Why not? You can do it yourself. You don't have to wait to go to the spa.
Sure.
If you want to go have a spa relaxing treatment, that's fine. But you can do a lot of things at home when you feel you can't find the time to go to the spa. So twice a week, you should scrub your body. After you scrub, you could also use what we call the brushing method to help stimulate circulation, lymphatic drainage, using a bath brush. You know those bath brushes? You start brushing from your feet, always towards the heart. You brush in rigorous strokes towards the heart because you want the circulation to go there, and then from your arms you do this. And so that helps with lymphatic drainage.
Okay.
And after that...
And what's the benefit of lymphatic drainage?
Helps you eliminate excess fluid and also toxins.
Okay.
So that's the good thing. And then you get your circulation boosted. For those that don't like exercising, at least that's one way to
get the blood moving. And what about moisturizing your body?
Very, very, very important. Now, with us, because we believe in taking care of the body as well as you take care of the face, we have products like we start with a body serum and then target specific products, like if you're trying to deal with cellulite, stretch marks, rough, uneven skin. You've heard about chicken skin, keratosis pilaris. The products we have, the bumps, like chicken skin. Your skin looks like chicken skin after the feathers have been plucked. So we have products that help to smooth out the skin.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and then after that, you use the moisturizer of choice.
But I always thought that chicken skin or strawberries, how it look, you know the black dots on the strawberry, I always thought that was permanent, that there's no cure for that once you have the black dots, that's it.
There's over-keratinization, I hope I'm not being too technical, of the pores, where the skin over the pores, where the hair grows out of. So you have the bumps there. And it's a buildup of dead cells. They're not being naturally exfoliated properly, so you have to help. For people who have that condition, you need to assist them with exfoliating ingredients. Glycolic acid is commonly used, salicylic acid. These are things that help to build.
So when a lot of men shave their heads, there's a lot of, sometimes there's a lot of bumps and stuff. What is this? Is this what we're talking about here?
No, it's different.
Okay, what's that?
With the bumps, we have razor bumps because typically our hair is curly. So when you shave at the surface and the hair tries to grow, because it's curly, it curves back into the pore, gets trapped, and that leads to inflammation and the buildup of sebum. So then you develop a bump. So the way to avoid that is to keep the skin well exfoliated. We have products. That's why the purpose of aftershaves help to keep the pores open. And then we also have exfoliating
All right. We're going to go on a break, and I know men are listening to you right now, so when we come back, we're going to pick up. We're going to take a short break. Welcome back. We're still in the studio with Dr. Oputa, who, before we went on break, you were telling us about what causes bumps on skin, especially after men shave.
Yeah, when they shave, because the hair is curly, when it's trying to grow out of the follicle, it curves back into it and gets trapped. So then it leads to inflammation because it irritates the follicle, and then inflammation, and sometimes bacteria will proliferate and pus can be formed. So it becomes tender and very uncomfortable and, of course, unsightly. So there are ways to help control this by the use of proper aftershaves. There are many different types on the market, so you have to find out which one works for you. Then also, I know that there are different grooming practices. I'm not very sure, but I know that I think barbers, they put like a warm towel to help to open the pores. So these are the different measures that can be taken.
So it's all about keeping the pores clear, basically, so that the hair can find its way out.
That's by using an exfoliating agent. So we have products for that as well. You could even use a toner. You know, the basic toners like Clinique. Are we allowed to mention names?
Just basic toners.
Oh, basic toners. Just look out for the ingredients.
Okay.
Salicylic
and so
acid.
salicylic
that is
acid.
the number one.
Okay.
Or you could witch hazel.
Okay.
And you could also look for glycolic acid.
Yes.
Unlikely, but salicylic is the most popular for the toners.
And what about the dreaded cellulite? Yes, I thought there was no cure for cellulite. You have it and you're stuck with it.
Well, there are many treatment options available, but the first thing you have to do is address your diet. Because there are lots of things that you eat that encourage cellulite. Because what it is, well, you know, first of all, you know, your loves, the cake,
I knew she was going to go there.
The donuts,
all the fun
all
things.
the refined flour, the refined sugar. These are things that lead to bloating in the interstitial space. So you see, for women, even if you're as thin as a rake, you could have cellulite because of the way our bodies are designed, the hip area, from the waist down.
Sure.
Sometimes even the abdomen. Some people have cellulite on the abdomen. So it's not about...
But it's much more common from the waist down.
Yeah, much more common.
What is cellulite?
Cellulite, it's not because you have weird fats. There's some connective tissue. The way it is, the way it's structured, fat cells get trapped and fluid gets trapped. So that's why if you go for a cellulite treatment, it's likely they will brush your body to help stimulate circulation and, you know, what do they call it? Drain excess fluid. If you've ever been, they try to brush you, they try to do the massages to encourage lymphatic drainage and also the drainage of the excess fluid that collects, because that's what it is, fluid collection. And a diet has a major role. I know people do not want to eat clean, but it really helps. Then we also have treatments. There are lots of treatments that can be done in a spa.
Okay.
You know, several machines that are available, and then also products. Like the product lines we dispense have very good cellulite programs.
Is there a way to prevent cellulite before it happens? Because everyone seems to...
It's just about becoming a woman.
Okay. So there's no prevention.
No
there's
prevention,
nothing you can
but
do.
you can manage it.
Okay.
And another one that's common to women and men, stretch marks. What can be done about stretch marks?
Well, there are lots of treatments. We have lasers that can help, and the microneedling as well. Microneedling helps to stimulate. You know, what it is that, you know, there's the integrity of the structure of the skin is compromised due to hormonal imbalances, especially like at puberty. If you notice, pubertal girls develop stretch marks all of a sudden. It's not because you're fat or anything. But then you can also develop stretch marks from corticosteroid abuse. Women who use bleaching creams to lighten their skin with steroids. Steroids thin the skin so it tears underneath, and then you get the stretch marks. So that you have to understand the genesis of the stretch marks to be able to treat them.
Okay.
Now, concerning what I think you're asking about, the regular on the hips, the thigh, and of course pregnancy as well.
Yes.
You know, with pregnancy is the stretching of the abdomen during pregnancy and the hormones that contribute to it. But some people have been successful using certain oils without
Just topical treatments?
Just topical treatments throughout the pregnancy, keeping it moisturized.
And you won't get stretch marks.
Yeah, I was fortunate. By 2 pregnancies, I used a particular oil, and I did not get a single stretch mark.
That oil you can mention.
I can.
Bio oil?
Bio oil.
Yeah, I use bio oil.
You use bio oil, yeah. It works for me. But you know why I knew it works? Because some people, oh, maybe you weren't prone to it. I said, but my mom had stretch marks, so I'm sure I probably would have. But you see, at the areas where I forgot, like right up here, I had tiny stretch marks there. So I know that the bio oil works.
So I kept just by keeping it moisturized.
Keeping it moisturized, and then the vitamin C, if you can get something safe in pregnancy, the vitamin C cream.
But you've got to be very disciplined. Literally, like every 2 hours, drop what you're doing and get your bio oil, and you have to be disciplined.
So I feel like randomly.
No, I did it like throughout the day because I was like,
you were paranoid about it. I did mine just twice a day, and it worked for me. But I have patients who said they've tried it and it didn't work for them.
One of the things, and I am going to talk to you about bleaching, but one of the things that our skin is prone, dark skin is prone to is keloid. You mentioned it briefly. Yes. Why are we more prone to keloid? What can we do about it?
Well, it's a genetic thing. We're not too sure why. We don't understand why suddenly certain cells will start to hyperproliferate and then lead to the steroids. Keloids.
But one of the things I want you to tell people, because we're showing pictures of really bad cases of keloid, is the fact that it's not, because sometimes people don't know what it is. Yes. So people will get afraid or don't want to get close to someone. They're not.
It's not contagious.
It's not. It's not going to jump out at you.
It's not going to jump out. Some people are prone to keloids and others are not. We don't know why it's this way. And it could be a little mosquito bite that could lead to a keloid in some individuals. Yeah. Treatment could be quite challenging. Some have success, others, the keloids grow back even after treatment and excision.
They can be treated where they get cut off, but I think some doctors like to do a prolonged treatment. I had some treatments for keloid.
Yes.
And so they were prolonged treatments.
Prolonged, using different...
Yes. And it can be, it could get annoying because you have to sort of go through a very slow process.
It's a slow process.
But it is effective. What I thought I was going to do was they were just going to cut it.
Cut it off and you'd be free,
No, they were like, no, we have to
It's a series. We have to follow you over time.
Yes.
And that went well, right?
It went very well. I'm very happy with my treatment. So thank you for that recommendation. That came from you being on the show, really. So thank you for that recommendation. Okay. There's another thing I was reading about, which is hyperpigmentation.
Yes.
I always see, we also all every once in a while get sort of hyperpigmentation in different places. Yeah. What causes that? What triggers that again?
When the black skin in particular, it shows up more on us because our melanin is more active. So if there's any assault or injury, like if you're somebody who picks at your face when you have spots, then melanin is stimulated. And excess melanin now is deposited wherever the assault or injury is. And then you can also have hyperpigmentation from excessive sun exposure. And then, of course, those that abuse the bleaching creams, go out in the sun and never wear sunscreen, will get burnt as well.
So how do you treat hyperpigmentation?
We have products that are bleaching agents, which we use clinically to help treat hyperpigmentation.
So hyperpigmentation is like a burn. It's basically like a sunburn?
No, it's not. It's just the inflammation encourages melanin to become hyperactive in that spot. Okay. As a protective mechanism as well.
This is our skin is so busy protecting us. It's so busy protecting us.
It's designed to protect you. So there's a breach in skin, there's some damage. That means the skin may not function properly. So the pigment will come to help to deflect the harmful sun rays.
It's highly intelligent.
It is. Everything about our bodies.
But you talked about bleaching in the clinic. So is that a safe bleaching? Because the fact of the matter is, in spite of whatever crusade you want to mount, Black women do bleach. I know you feel very strongly about this issue. You cannot even... But Black women do bleach. Let's talk about the psychology of that. And then is there a safe way to go about it, since people insist on this practice?
The truth is, there is no safe way to deal with bleaching. The reality is, the best skin for you is what you were born with. And even at that, you have to take care of it and protect it accordingly. So as you bleach, your skin becomes more susceptible to sun damage and premature aging. The most unfortunate thing is that people use a lot of dangerous chemicals to bleach, like the steroids that I've kept talking about. that are absorbed into the bloodstream and can damage your liver, kidney, and bone marrow. I have some patients who have come down with kidney failure as a result of bleaching practices over the years.
This is so important to note because people are doing this and they're told that they're using organic, natural ingredients. I'm sure you've seen those adverts for bleaching cream. Oh, this is natural.
Yeah.
But there is no safe way. There's no natural way.
Is cyanide not natural?
There you go. And it's a poison.
And it's a poison.
toxin,
Mushrooms, some poisonous mushrooms are natural.
Yes.
Natural doesn't mean safe.
So people are being misled. And for this youthful yellowness, they pay such a heavy price down the line. I think that really needs to be stressed.
It does.
That it's not worth it.
It isn't worth it. And you see patients developing stretch marks from head to toe as a result of the steroid abuse. And there's a trend now to maintain baby skin by using steroids on children's skin.
Oh.
Oh, yes. A lot
That's
of
child
mothers are.
abuse.
It is.
Wow.
I mean, I've had people come to my clinic asking for advice on how to bleach the children.
So say that again, because no. Sometimes I think that when you hear things, you can't believe it. So people come to the clinic to ask for,
what creams are best to maintain children's complexions. Because a woman, my baby was very light at birth. Now she's 9 months old. She's getting dark. I don't want her to be dark.
Oh, my God.
I said because her color is setting in, and that's her natural color.
Yes.
No way she wants to bleach the baby.
wow.
Yeah.
So what recourse do you have as a doctor when someone does that? Can you call someone to say, or do you recommend,
I don't know if there are any such
child protection
child protective services available. So I advised her and I told her about the hazards that in adults it's even dangerous. And this is a child and you're the child's advocate. You should be more concerned about the health and welfare of your child, not...
So, at the end of the day, bleaching is a huge epidemic. To me,
Yes,
it's a huge issue.
It is.
Across West Africa. That's one of the things that World Health Organization actually talked about, and their data around it is alarming.
It's alarming.
But what I wanted to understand is at what age do you start to see some of these issues, especially around kidney failure, so that people also understand? And how long have people been abusing bleaching by the time they sort of get into this state?
Some of the patients I've seen, it's like 10 years down the line, 12 years down the line. Some has like 5 years of continuous use of steroids.
Are these injections or just topical?
The topical.
And it goes that quickly into the bloodstream?
Yes, you see, one thing, your skin absorbs everything. Yeah. And it's the largest organ of your body. So everything you apply to your skin is going in. That is why people can be killed by just applying poison on the skin.
So what about people who decide to stop abusing these steroids? Is there any hope? Because like with smokers, for example, after a certain amount of years, your lungs can regenerate. Can the skin regenerate itself?
It depends on how bad the damage is. Because I've seen some steroid abuse that's so severe that when emergency surgery was required, they couldn't even stitch the wounds. Yeah, that's how bad it was. Because the skin is so fragile and thin.
Wow.
And at that point, I don't see how it will be able to regenerate.
It's over for the skin.
I don't know.
Well, I know we're gonna go on a quick break, but I think when we come back, I want to ask about reconstructive surgery and things that actually people have no control over. That people don't have control over. Okay. And also, one of the things that you said is really about fungus infections. Yeah. And you really did pick on people's feet. So for those people that are covering up their feet this rainy season, we're going to talk a little bit about that and how even with the humidity things that you need to be aware of. So I want to explore some of those things, especially around scarring and people that have been victims of either natural or unnatural things that they can't help. Talk less of not just so much about people that are trying to regenerate. That choose to bleach their skin. So we'll talk a little bit more about that, and then I know you're going to hang out with us and go through the papers today.
Yes.
The headlines. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, those are some of the things we're going to talk about. Anything particular you want to cover?
I want to talk about the $500 billion beauty industry and how much of that is for us Black women, by Black women, how we can get a slice of that. Yes, I
and for dermatologists, too.
I would think that the Black women are the highest consumers.
We must be, right? Yes.
We'll see about that. It's time now for a short break. When we return, we'll continue our conversation on skin and the industry. So welcome back. We're still in studio with Dr. Putar talking about skincare. Before we went on break, we wanted to talk to you a little bit more about, you know, there are the people that bleach and you sort of have to work on your skin regenerating, but there are also people that have been victims of either a fire or either an accident.
Yes.
With people like that, what happens to their skin and how do you regenerate skin? Especially, there are quite a number of people, in Nigeria we have quite a lot of accidents, especially around fire because of electrical fires and actually generator fires and all that stuff. So what happens and how do you continue to take care of your skin when you've been a victim of those type of incidents?
Well, the thing about burns is you have to see the right physician for management. Sometimes you have keloid formation and then severe scarring as well.
From burns?
From burns. And then I would say the plastic surgeons usually deal with handling burns. They can excise them, sometimes have to skin graft onto those areas. So it's a very tedious and long healing process. But I feel nutrition is very essential.
What is good for, what type of foods are good for your skin?
Antioxidants are amazing. So you have your vegetables, you have your fruits, and then you have simple carbohydrates. We don't want refined carbs because those are not good for your skin. They will bloat you and age you and lead to this, what we call the protein glycation of your skin.
So simple are things like?
You know, your naturally occurring carbs
Okay.
as opposed to the nice refined sugar.
Things that come out from under the ground
you know,
or on the trees.
The veggies and the fruits, nature's bounty.
What is glycation?
What it is when your supportive collagen and elastin become hard. You know, it's usually very flexible, but it becomes hard, and then your skin begins to wrinkle and sag as a result. And then you also have dull, splotchy skin, and you could have loads of blemishes and breakouts as a result of refined sugar and flour.
Okay.
So they make you look dull.
So things like bread?
Yes.
They can make you look dull.
Of course. So moderation is always key. And of course, if you break out to these, you have to find time to sort of go through a food journal journey to find out what may break you out. Because some people break out, me in particular. If I eat refined flour, refined sugar, dairy products as well, I break out to those. So I avoid them. It's not sensitivity. It's just, they're just not good for me, just as well. Because I feel if I wasn't concerned about my skin, I would have aged terribly.
That's what I'm saying. So you don't get to indulge because your body rings this alarm.
Exactly.
Other people
I'm lucky.
are lulled into
so that's
security,
why they have to get educated. They have to get educated because you really know what is bad for you, but you keep taking it.
So when you see people with different things like acne on their face, do you know like, oh, this is what this is? Like, do different places represent different things,
Sometimes.
especially for adult acne?
Sometimes. Well, with adults, food has a major role to play, and also stress.
And hormones.
Of course, hormones, especially in women.
Yes.
Where you have the cyclical breakouts around the periods, where you have progesterone surges, so there's more fluid retention, the pores get closed, the sebum develops and leads to the bump. But then you also have women who have the condition called polycystic ovarian syndrome, where there's excessive testosterone in the bloodstream. And that's the male hormone, which naturally occurs in women as well. But when it's excessive, then you are prone to breakouts. Or when your estrogen is not enough, the testosterone, which may be normal, will take over because there's no balance. Then you may have breakouts. So we have to do a complete investigative screening for patients who have acne.
So I mentioned earlier that the beauty industry is estimated at $500 billion, which is just huge. So I want to ask you from different perspectives about that. Okay. This represents this plethora of products on the market. What should Black women be looking at? That's number one. Number two, are there enough brands and products targeted for us? Where is our share in this huge market?
Now,
and not as just a consumer, but as also products.
Yes.
Well, the thing is, first, developing a keen interest in wanting to be an entrepreneur in the beauty industry and finding what you'd do well at, getting the adequate training, which a lot of people don't bother with, especially in this environment. Everybody's mixing something in the backyard. I've created something.
I want to ask you about
that is a problem. And you see, and they say, oh, all natural, no preservatives. Don't listen to that because you need preservatives to prevent infection. You now have a no preservative thing. You're going to develop rashes and all sorts of skin diseases as a result.
Are you seeing more of that?
Misleading,
Oh, yes, definitely.
Misleading
because they don't know.
labeling.
I think they're ignorant because they're not trained. You just feel, oh, I just mix this all natural, this in my backyard, in my kitchen, I'm slaving over the stove. I mean, no. We need preservatives in our products so that they will have a shelf life. And then, of course, there are a lot of adulterated products. Shea butter that is supposedly so natural and nice. I've had a patient buy into adulterated shea butter. She left it in her bag. By the next morning, it had burnt a hole through her bag and through her mattress. She left it on her bed.
Wow.
That's something she has applied on her skin.
Fortunately,
already.
she hadn't used it.
Oh, but I'm sure other people used it.
Yeah, of
before
course.
So this is what sort of impedes us getting a slice of that pie because we don't do the
sensitization. I mean, there are lots of companies that produce skincare products here that do the research and development and do them and manufacture properly. But I don't know, people just love shortcuts and think, they can just learn, just put stuff together, a concoction, without going into the history of how cosmetics are created. They don't want to learn. People are too impatient because you have to learn and understand because you're dealing with the public. You don't want to harm your clients.
Are there any ingredients that women of color should avoid or women of color should really invest in? What should we look out for on the labels?
One thing to avoid is anything with steroids. That's number one. Because of what it does to the skin. It makes it very sensitive. You could have stretch marks from head to toe. I've seen patients come in, stretch marks on her face. There's a lady who came, and all over her body. So I said, you know what, the first thing we need to do is stop the cream, because clearly it's damaging your skin. She said, oh yeah, that's why she came, but that she can't stop the cream. Because if she does, she'll get darker and people will think she's suffering. That is exactly what she told me.
Wow.
And I said, no, you have to. So she left and I never saw her again.
So help us debunk this. This could just be an urban myth, that there are injections that people take for their skin to be bleached, and that these are sort of, you go to Dubai, you take these injections.
Yeah, they're available everywhere.
In Lagos.
And these injections,
in the market.
How are they different from the creams?
I think it's the glutathione we're talking about. That's the common ingredient. Now the glutathione is actually a very strong antioxidant, naturally occurring in the body, created for people who are undergoing chemotherapy because their immunity is suppressed. So it helps to boost immunity for the chemotherapeutic purposes. And then also people with HIV and AIDS who have depressed immunity. And as a side effect, it was seen that your skin, because it inhibits melanin, so you get lighter, and it's uniform because it's an intravenous, it's taken into the vein, so it's distributed evenly. But it's not made for that purpose. So that's an off-label practice, what we call off-label. And it's become quite popular worldwide. I'm not an advocate for it. I do not administer it. People have approached me for that, but I will not. And recently, I think about a year ago, I think it's federal judge in America had to clamp down on the injectables because it's become so widespread, and then the health hazards are just so serious. So to protect the public, they had to do a major clamp down without going through procedures to be able to stop the abuse of glutathione injections.
So this is the thing. How it's marketed, I know, in Lagos is exactly what you've said. If it's good for cancer patients, it must be good for you. It's a health thing. You'll be fine using it. But of course you won't. It's not. It's been abused. That's not what it was made to do. It's actually sold to people as, you'll be bright and white and also super healthy. Go for it. Yes, it's been abused here.
And then when you're bright and white, your skin will age faster as well. And you're more prone to developing skin cancer.
I want to just ask you one last question before we go on a break, and then we do our newspaper review. And it's around Botox and fillers. There was a time where Botox was the rage.
Yes.
I have not been hearing about Botox as much, but I'm hearing more and more about fillers. Am I out of the loop, or is there a new, what is the new thing on the block? And also, what is the difference between the two?
What I would like to say about these injectables is that a lot of patients have developed what we call needle fatigue.
Okay.
They are so tired of taking the injections. It is painful. Even if we numb them, it's painful. It's such a hassle to go back. after about 6 months to repeat. So there's needle fatigue going on in a lot of industries.
And so that's for Botox?
For Botox. And also fillers. Fillers are very, very uncomfortable.
Oh, really?
For some people, even if you numb them, patients complain a lot. So we have alternative topical treatments that will give you the same results without the injectables.
So how is that cutting into this 500 billion? Because these are part of the beauty industry.
Yeah, but this is medical.
Yes.
The medical beauty. So people still, request and have them done, and I hope by the right professionals as well.
Do you think overall Nigerians over the last, I think I first saw you on TV almost 10 years ago. Yeah. How do you think the seeking help in our skincare has progressed and changed over the years?
I'm not sure if it's about seeking help. It's more about getting the next most interesting product. Because they couldn't care less about how damaging the products could be. They don't inquire. Like,
so more now we're still in this phase of...
I just need to look a certain way, regardless.
So more vanity? Is it more... So
yeah,
we're more on a vanity
and then you deal with the consequences down the line.
Your kidneys start to fail. You're like, oh...
So it sounds like, if I'm picking up this right, it sounds like one of the biggest things you're seeing lately is sort of these damages from bleaching.
Yes.
Because you keep on saying, like, the
because
kidneys...
we see it.
And
even the topical, the physical appearance. You see people with green, blue, different colors of burns, and then their skin is so sensitive and red.
So what warning do you have for people? Because there are people out there that are like, look, we're all wearing hair in one way, shape, or form.
Yes,
so they sort of think it's the same thing. Like, you're wearing a wig, I'm bleaching. What advice do you have for people when they sort of make that comparison?
I would say that they don't even come close when it comes to comparisons, because this is about your life and your health.
Yeah.
A wig is not going to take away from my years on earth. And I love my wigs.
No, because I really want young women to say, because for young women, it's like there's no difference in sort of wearing a wig or this and that.
There's a lot of difference. Because
you're a medical you're a doctor, so I want you to tell them the difference.
The thing is that anything you apply to your body or your skin is absorbed into your bloodstream, and it finds its way right through your body. So if you're applying dangerous chemicals, they will go into your body and they would damage your organs. It's as simple as that.
Wow. Heard it here. She's a medical doctor and she said it. So please take care of your skin. We're going on a short break.